What up, world? Welcome to another brand new show. As you know, I am Brand New, like always on all podcast platforms everywhere. Brand new show. Social media, Instagram and Threads. Real, REAL. Brand new show. That's REAL. Real, Brand new show on Instagram and Threads. Facebook, The Brand New Show. And of course, TikTok, Brand New Show. Go follow me on all of those social media platforms. I would appreciate it if you did. Ah. There you go, though. It's the YouTube channel, man. BrandonJaneauShow YouTube channel. Go subscribe, comment, like the show. It's like the vids. Helps in the algorithm if you do. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it, man. This is I Believe Sports. I know it's not Tuesday, but it's no better time to do it than right now. A lot of things went on this past week in sports. We got NBA playoffs coming up this week. Not this week, but in next week will be NBA playoffs. Um, NBA playoffs. The play-in starts, I think, I want to say this weekend, maybe next weekend. Yeah, I would say probably like this weekend. And then the NBA play-in starts this weekend. Oh no, next week. Next week, I'm tripping. But NBA play-in start next week, so look forward to that. So this is technically the last week of the NBA season. I think it was like Sunday was the last day. So yeah, talk about that. Talk about the NBA playoffs. The East is tight as shit from outside of one, two, three, and four, five, six, seven, five, six, seven, eight, and nine. When I saw it today, I think all have a chance. Miami is the 10, but those teams from five to nine have a chance to get seeding, better seeding. So that's insane. Miami's the only one that's locked into the play in right now in the East. In the West is a little bit different. But yeah. Um, we'll talk about that. Talk about basketball. Talk about the NBA playoffs. What I got going on with that. Uh, what else? Of course, the NFL. What should they do? Cardinals. Not Cardinals. Commanders. Washington Commanders are on the clock. Um, talk about some NFL news. Talk about Jalen Hurts. I will talk about Jalen Hurts on this show. Um, yeah. Also, some boxing. Talk about some boxing. Match that we have been waiting for. Will it finally happen? And are we as excited for it as we were a decade ago? Talk about that. Well, let's start it off with this. Two new champs were crowned in college basketball for the women, the UCLA Brewers, and for the men, Michigan Wolverines. All in all, the Big Ten Conference has won now the college football and both basketball championships. Congratulations to the UCLA women. They decimated South Carolina in that championship game. The UCLA women wanted a little bit more. They were way more hungry, way more aggressive. They wanted it, and they got it, man. They deserved it. They played their ass off, beating the South Carolina Gamecocks, um, and achieving their first championship, the college basketball championship for the women. I think in modern, college basketball. So that's big, man. That's a big, big look for them. Congratulations. A lot of those women a lot of those young ladies are going into the league, WNBA. Uh, so that's gonna be interesting to see them go into to the draft and see where they get drafted. Um, and congratulations to those women. Michigan took it home for the men. Michigan won the men's college championship, winning the Final Four for the men's. They beat a two-time champion in UConn, who's looking to win their third championship in 4 years. Michigan Falcons on their first championship since 1989. The Fab Five never did it. The Fab Five never did it. Trey Burke and that Michigan team never did it. There have been other Michigan teams that have been pretty good, just could never get it done. But the men for Michigan have won the national championship in basketball. That's a massive, massive, massive look for them. The Michigan, like I said, Michigan Wolverines program has had some pretty good basketball teams over the last couple of decades. They just never materialized and won championships. Of course, the legendary, iconic Fab Five, who went to 2 national championship games, it just never won a national championship with that roster, that team. So to have this situation, Monday happened where they finally captured the title. Big fucking moment. Big fucking moment. Congratulations to both of those programs. UCLA women, I'm sorry. UCLA women, Michigan men, the Big Ten Conference. But there was something else that happened during the Final Four for the women, which was Gino Auriemma, coach of the UConn Women Huskies, and Don Staley, coach of the South Carolina women's basketball team, got into an altercation. Gino Auriemma basically didn't want to shake her hand, blamed it on pre-game warm-ups, and she didn't shake his hand politely or some shit, whatever the fuck he was coming up with. Or she didn't even shake his hand during pre-games, I think it was. That was the first thing he said, and then that happened. So, yeah. What do I feel? I feel like a man that has been in a women's sport and has dominated as well as Gino Auriemma has dominated women's basketball. When a actual woman has actually had a better team and whooped his ass, he hasn't been particularly happy about that. Pat Summitt back in the day with Tennessee. It seems like Don Staley is his kryptonite nowadays. So he doesn't like when women who also have recruited very well. And this is the thing, UConn women's basketball team has been as dominant as any team can ever be as dominant of. They are one of the greatest dynasties. I mean, one of the greatest college teams of all time. That program that he has had since the 90s has been one of the greatest women's basketball teams. I mean, since I was a kid. UConn's women's has always been in the discussion of one of the greatest franchise college teams of all time. I mean, and Gino Auriemma has coached a lot of women that have come and gone throughout that program. Some of the greatest women in basketball history that played in WNBA have come from the UConn Huskies. So I don't understand his energy towards when he loses to just a better team. Why do you have the energy of like, oh man, I can't believe we lost? No, South Carolina was better than you. I get it. You were undefeated. You had everything going your way. And then you ran into a team that on that night was better than your team. that team was coached better than your team. It's okay. It's not like those women, those young ladies that play for UConn are bad or this. I mean, depending on how people rank the season. I mean, obviously, winning a championship is how you rank a season being successful. Obviously, but it's not like those women on that UConn team didn't win a national championship last year. So for you to then turn around and basically choose, choose, basically to choose to act distasteful and disrespectful, even though your team had an undefeated season up until that game, even though your team was crushing teams left and right up until that game, you could have had a different way of responding to a loss than that, especially for someone that has the same credibility and credentials. Not maybe not as many championships, but Don Staley has created the same powerhouse at South Carolina as you have in UConn. And for you to treat her like that on that day, on that night after that game, what the fuck did you expect for people to say about you? This isn't the first time this has happened. And here Candace Parker, somebody that is legendary, who has played the UConn Huskies back in the day and had to beat the UConn Huskies back in the day with Gino Auriemma as head coach, Pat Summitt, one of the greatest women's basketball coaches of all time, as her coach. Candace Parker knows what she's talking about when she's like, I've seen Gino Auriemma and Pat Summitt not have the best relationship. And she said, I think she said, like, when Gino Auriemma is beating you, when he doesn't look at you as a threat, it's all the respect in the world. But the moment you become a threat to his team and more so to his legacy, he treats you with the utmost discredit and disrespect. And this is coming from a player that saw it. A player. So imagine coaches that have been around him and played against him over the years. And Gino Auriemma is one of the last few coaches of the 90s that are still not just in a prominent role, but dominant prominent role. So for you to treat a Don Staley like that on such a beautiful night for the college women's basketball, for a matchup that was perceived as a championship matchup, because we knew whoever went to the final, the championship game between UCLA or Texas, we didn't expect the game to be like it was Sunday between UCLA and South Carolina, but the perception of it was whoever makes it to that game had a good shot to be champion. And for you to turn around and do that to these women, those young ladies that you have coached, some of those young ladies, the last image of their entire career in college will be you having to answer questions about why you felt disrespected when we have video evidence of that wasn't the case. Why would you do that? I don't understand it. For somebody that has coached for damn near 30 years at that level, for you to be that way on that night. The and you put out an apology, it was half-ass, so you had to put out another one because people just did not believe that shit was genuine. So you had to put out another one. And that's just how people are nowadays. You don't really want to apologize, but you have to keep your job or to save face or to secure the bag. You're not really apologizing because it comes from a genuine fucking place. You apologize because you just don't want to hit a shit no more. You're like, I apologize. I'll say sorry. It's just God Almighty. So he does the second one because now he knows people, one, got on his ass for the first one. The second one is more genuine because he has to. Because everybody's like, man, that first one fucking sucked. Do better. And his legacy is taking a hit every fucking day. There's one thing about this generation I don't say like, but I do respect, is that y'all hold people under the magnifying glass a little bit more than people used to. Now, I'm not going to sit there and pretend like everybody doesn't get held under the magnifying glass, because I can obviously tell you about how people are now reacting to Kanye West being banned in the UK, but yet he had a sold out fucking show in Los Angeles for 2 nights. So now everybody gets held under the same standards. But there is one thing about this generation: when you make a wrong, people don't forget it. I would hope people wouldn't fucking get it. It's a shame they had to take up most of this time of college. Not talk about the UCLA women and the Michigan men. Most of this segment was based on Gino Auriemma disrespecting Don Staley because his team just lost the fucking game. It fucking happens. You run up into a better team that night. It's okay. It fucking happens. South Carolina had your number. And that more so goes into you as a coach. And that's something that you don't like, is that you lost them that game because you didn't get them prepared, because you didn't have them focused, because you wasn't ready to get them into that position to handle a situation like that. That's why the fuck you bugging the fuck out, because Don Staley actually outcoached your ass, and you didn't like that. Don Staley had her team ready, prepared to go. You did not. South Carolina made you pay, and you couldn't handle that. So instead of you taking the actual blame, like Don Staley, after the South Carolina women lost to UCLA, hey, we got our ass whooped. We got smacked. We need to learn how we got to get back up. We got to learn how to smack people right the fuck back. That's how the fuck you supposed to say that shit. Props to UCLA because they fucking deserve it, because they beat the shit out of us. 100. That's not what you did. What you did was try to change the narrative of, you just didn't get those women ready. You didn't get those young ladies ready to play South Carolina, and they got their ass whooped. And for somebody that had an undefeated season, for one game, you got outcoached. Badly. Badly outcoached. And instead of you accepting and admitting that to yourself, here comes the narrative change. Oh, they weren't professional. Oh, they didn't do this. Oh, they didn't. They were trying to rip the girls' jerseys. And where the fuck did that come from? We're seeing Sarah Strong rip her own fucking jersey. Where the fuck is this coming from? You get your ass whooped. When you've been the one that's been dishing out the ass whoopings. And it's live, and everybody can see it. The narrative need to change. Now it's they were unprofessional and they didn't do this, and they were trying to hurt our players. And what the bro? This motherfucker was just finding shit to talk about, except being the one thing he should have done: give South Carolina women their fucking props, and give Don Staley her fucking props, because they whooped your ass. It's okay. It's one game. You will be back next year. You will bust everybody's ass. You might even win a national championship. Nothing is wrong with that. But now people will look at you and question you. And now you got to now re-examine his legacy because a lot of this shit that he has done, it gets looked at different. And that's because of him. He didn't have to do that. You now put your legacy under the microscope. How you treat these women coaches because they beat you. Now your legacy gets looked under a light post, a light post a little differently. Now the light gets shined a little bit deeper on yours. When all you had to do was just be respectful, my brother. That was it. What the fuck you had to do? Just be respectful. Hey, y'all got us. We two great teams. We're gonna see each other next year, and we're gonna bust that ass next year. That's all the fuck you had to do. She got us. They were better than us. She outcoached me. Team was better. They were more prepared. They were ready to go. We weren't. That's on me. I will get us prepared next year. I got a whole year now to think about this. Did he say that? No. You know who did? Don Staley. Don Staley. That's who. I know. But congratulations to the UCLA Brewers women and the Michigan Wolverines men on an incredible season and championship games. Congratulations on being the 2025 N6 national NBA basketball champions of your respective women and men's divisions. Boxing. Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder had a fight last Saturday. I can say last Saturday because now it's literally almost Saturday again. So last Saturday. Deontay Wilder had a fight last Saturday. In the UK. He won the fight. And immediately after the fight, there was, of course, rumblings of what's next. Because everybody knows that if you're in the UK, there's probably one person that's going to probably be there. And that is Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua, Anthony Joshua was sitting front row watching this fight. The man that broke Jake Paul's jaw. He was sitting front row watching this fight. And immediately after the fight, obviously, everybody knows, obviously, this needs to be the fight next. Well, should be, but there's another fight that could happen and take the place of this one, depending on what happens Saturday. Because on Saturday, Netflix will have a fight with former undisputed heavyweight champion Tyson Fury. He is back, and he will be fighting on Netflix this Saturday. That's an interesting fight. If Tyson Fury wins that fight, the question then becomes, well, then who does Anthony Joshua want to fight? And this is something that almost took place a decade ago, but it was two different sides of the coin, right? Like, it was like, the reason why we got the trilogy between Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury is because Anthony Joshua refused to come to the United States and fight Deontay Wilder. He did not want to come to the United States, and he damn sure did not want to fight Deontay Wilder at that time. So the reason why we ended up getting Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder is because Deontay Wilder wanted to fight Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua said, fuck no, I'm not fighting him. And at that time, I get it. Because Deontay Wilder at that fucking time was unstoppable. Like, the dude had a right hand That fucking right hand, boy, he could break your fucking jaw. He had a 98% knockout ratio, some shit like that. It was insane. Like his knockout ratio was insane. And Anthony Joshua basically saw that and was like, nah, I'm good. Nah, I'm good. Because the knock on Anthony Joshua was he could throw punches, but can he take them? And that was the knock on Anthony Joshua. Even then, Anthony Joshua could throw punches. Yeah, he's a great boxer, but his chin ain't shit. Even then, people were saying his chin ain't shit. So to hear his chin ain't shit was insane to a lot of people. But the reason why we ended up getting the trilogy is because Anthony Joshua basically just backed the fuck out the fight. He did not want to unify the titles. He did not want to turn it into an undisputed. He did not want to do uh, undisputed match to see who will be the undisputed champion at the heavyweight division. He just chose not to fucking do it. He was like, nope, I'm good. I'm good. Only when Deontay Wilder finally lost, he decided to come to the United States. Now, because he came to the United States, he fought Andy Ruiz. And Andy Ruiz beat his ass, basically. Andy Ruiz beat his ass, basically. Watching how this now plays out in a decade later, between these three men. Fury, of course, went on and became the undisputed guy, became, well, unified at heavyweight until he fought Usyk, who beat Anthony Joshua and took his belts from him. Why is all of this? Why am I saying all this, Brandon? Why are you saying all this? To get y'all up to speed with the history. Because Saturday, if Tyson Fury wins, the history is going to be repeated. Because again, but this is the difference. Deontay Wilder has not looked the same since Deontay Wilder has not looked the same since the Fury fights. He's had a lot of fights where he looks unsure of himself. He looks like he has a lot of fights where it's just like he's just loading up to try to get the right hand. That's why I was very surprised Saturday that it did go to distance. Because I did not expect it to go to distance. I expected either the dude was going to knock Deontay Wilder out or Deontay Wilder was going to knock him out. The fact that they went the distance is one, it's more so a testament to both of those guys. And two, maybe Deontay Wilder just is losing that umph on those punches like he used to. But if you are Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury wins Saturday, Deontay Wilder won last Saturday, Anthony Joshua is the one with the ball in the court. As crazy as it sounds, even back then, he kind of had the ball in his court. But Anthony Joshua has the ball in his court. He's the A side of the fight. Not because he's more, well, he is, because he's more popular. This is the man that knocked out Jake Paul. This is the man that broke his jaw. This is the man that everybody on Netflix finally got a chance to say, yes, finally, somebody whooped his ass. This is the guy. That brings you a different level of popularity. Now, let's not get it twisted. Anthony Joshua, before that Jake Paul fight, wasn't like he was lighting up the fucking world and the boxing world either, despite what people want to say. But Anthony Joshua did exactly what he was supposed to do. He beat Jake Paul, knocked him out, And then on top of that, he didn't just knock him out. He officially became the A side of this fight. Now the question becomes, what happens and who he decides to pick. If I was Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury wins Saturday, I'm picking Deontay Wilder. Picking Deontay Wilder. I know how to beat Deontay Wilder. As much as Deontay Wilder has that rookie ass, that still that fucking right hand, and that bitch is cock loaded and ready to go. Anthony Joshua now, what Anthony Joshua could do then, he can do now, which is box him. Because Deontay Wilder looks like a fucking deer in the ring. He looks like a fucking deer. Now, he was taking some punches this past Saturday. But the one knock on Anthony Joshua is Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua could easily outbox Deontay Wilder. You just have to fucking do it. The problem with them when they were younger was, even though Anthony Joshua could probably outbox Deontay Wilder, there was always the threat of the right hand. Even if he could outbox him, we knew eventually Anthony Joshua was going to get too confident. He's going to get too cocky. He's going to start believing in himself a little bit too much. He's going to drop his fucking hands. And that was game. That was fucking game. Now you can control the fight better. Deontay Wilder's a little bit older. He doesn't move like he used to. And like I said, those fights against Tyson Fury fucked him up some way. He just cannot do what he used to do. Yeah, that right hand is still dangerous, but you can see it coming. That's the difference. See, even back then, he had a jab. He had something to load it up. Now it's like he just relies on it. That's all the fuck he got. So if I'm Anthony Joshua, I'm fighting Deontay Wilder first. I'm not fighting Tyson Fury. Even if I know I could beat Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury is still a better boxer than Deontay Wilder. Tyson Fury is just a better boxer than Deontay Wilder. That's just facts. He's older, maybe, than Deontay Wilder, but he's still a better boxer than Deontay Wilder. And plus, he's coming in maybe a little bit bigger than you are. I mean, Anthony Joshua probably walks around 240, maybe 230. Tyson Fury walks around 260, 270. Easy. 260, 270, easy. Anthony Joshua's still a little younger than Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder, I think, is what, 40? Anthony Joshua's like 38, 39. Like, shit, I don't even age him that fucking far. Maybe 37, 38. But that fight might happen. It might actually happen. Who knows? But Saturday is going to be an interesting night. Not because Tyson Fury's back, but because it sets up who the fuck fights maybe at the end of this year, maybe going into next year for the heavyweight, for the middleweight. Well, welterweight, I should say. Boost Ennis. Boost Ennis is going to fight Xavier. Xavier Zias. Xavier Zias. Xavier Zias. I'm fucking up that man's name. I'm so sorry, man. It is official. Boots and Zenith Zias is going to happen for basically to unify their welterweight titles. Who do I think wins? Uh I've seen uh uh Zanus Zanus uh box. I'll change this man's name every 5 seconds. I'm sorry. Zanus box on top rank. And he can box. Boy can box. I've just never seen him, and this is the problem sometimes with top rank boxers. You never really see them get into the ring with too many people of this elk or this standard. Not saying they can't box, but there is a sense of like top ranked boxers. Like they cannot. The pressure gets on, and sometimes they fold. And then you can say that about every boxer, right? Every time, sometimes they get in the ring with somebody that's just a little bit better than them. I'm not saying that for Zayas is that he's going to get in the ring with Boots and just fold. No, but I think Boots is someone that he has never boxed before. And when you've never really boxed somebody like a Boots before, it could catch you the fuck off guard. And I think that that's something that I think a lot of things is. Boots has enough power and drive with his footwork and the way he kind of gets off, where he can kind of catch him a couple times. Not saying again that he can't get Boots, because he definitely can get Boots. Because Boots could get cocky. He get confident, overconfident, to the point where it's cockiness. And thinking, I can always tag you. This is easy for me. And then you leave yourself accessible to a fucking big ass punch. And it changes the whole fight around. So I'm looking forward to this fight. I think it's happening like May. I think it's happening in May. I want to say New York. That makes sense. He's from New York, and Boots is from Philly. So that makes sense. NBA. NBA. But I'll talk about the playoffs and these teams. I gotta talk about this. Anthony Davis. Bro, Anthony Davis goes on Draymond Green's podcast. He basically, says the city of New Orleans boos him every time he comes back to the city because, they don't understand he just wanted to win a championship. And he doesn't understand why he's never been given a video package, a video tribute when he's come back to the city. He feels like he's done a lot for New Orleans. He just doesn't understand why the city doesn't reciprocate the love. And as a New Orleans kid, and as a fan of the Pelicans, even though I don't speak on it, because listen, Pelicans are just not that good, and I'm not gonna sit over here and pretend, but we drafted well this year. Jeremiah Fears, Derek Queen, future's bright in New Orleans, man. I don't know if we're gonna keep Jordan Poole, uh, but next year, if we, I still think we need to trade Zion, but that's just me. I think we still need to trade Zion. That's just me. Keep Herbert Jones, trade Murphy, trade Zion, get a fucking gang of picks because somebody stupid is going to take him, and he's going to be way cheaper than Giannis. Way cheaper than Giannis. So that's what I would do. But that's me. Anyway, Anthony Davis says these things. He's talking about, oh man, if I would have, I told at the time GM David Griffin, I think you should draft John Morant. And he told me he was going to Zion Williamson. And I was like, all right, well then I need to leave then. First of all, Anthony Davis, my brother. You pretend on camera and tell everybody that you don't know why the love isn't reciprocated back to you from the city of New Orleans. When you, in your last year, basically did everything in your fucking power to sabotage the fucking team. You gave the New Orleans Pelicans front office a list of teams you would go to. On that list was the Knicks, the Celtics, the Knicks, the Celtics, the Heat, the usual teams, the Warriors. Did you get that Warriors on that list? The Warriors. He wanted to go to all these teams. And then came back that I think we had a deal for the Celtics. That was a deal for the Celtics. I remember this shit. The Celtics and us had a deal. And then he came back. And when I say he, I mean Rich Paul, his agent at the time, which, by the way, Rich Paul, the year before you finally decided to ask for a trade, you signed the Clutch Sports Management. Rich Paul comes out and says flat out, Anthony Davis will not sign an extension to New Orleans, and he would like to be traded. So everything you said is bullshit. Because your own fucking manager flat out said, basically killed negotiations before you even got a chance to even talk. He's flat out fucking said, I will not let this man sign an extension to the city of New Orleans, and that I want him to seek a trade. So all this shit you talking about, you don't know why. You were the one that was egging this shit on. You never was fully committed to New Orleans. I wanted to win. But we gave you Rajon Rondo. You had Drew Holiday. 2 years after we traded your ass, Drew Holiday wins a championship with Milwaukee. Two years after we traded you, Drew Holiday wins a championship with Milwaukee. You forget the fact that they traded and got DeMarcus Cousins during the All-Star weekend. I remember watching an All-Star game, getting ready for bed. Because I was in college, I think, at the time. Getting ready for bed. And then the news broke during the All-Star weekend, the last game, after the game was over, DeMarcus Cousins has just been traded to the Pelicans from the Kings. What? If DeMarcus Cousins does not tear his fucking ACL that year, we don't know what the fuck that team would have been. The following year, DeMarcus Cousins is hurt. DeMarcus Cousins is hurt. We have to basically move on. We bring Julius Randle in, still a solid team, and you still chose to basically sit the fuck out. You made shit in New Orleans way more difficult than it needed to be. And now you want to sit on somebody's podcast, especially somebody like a Draymond Green, who is as bitch made as anyone, and who is a LeBron dick hangler like you are. You want to sit here and say, I don't know why they don't like me. Because, bitch, you try to torpedo the franchise. We had a trade ready for you with Boston. We could have got Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown. They were trying to pair you up with Kyrie Irving. They were trying to pair you up in Boston. And yet you chose to basically say, fuck us. And so we had to trade you to the Lakers because that's the only place that you wanted to go. I wonder fucking why. And you basically try to fuck our franchise up. You didn't give a shit about us. So when I hear you try to sit there and lie, tell the actual truth, bro. That's all I ask. And Draymond Green don't know shit. Draymond Green is fake as fuck. And I'm a Warriors fan. And I don't even like that dude. I ain't like that nigga. I ain't like that nigga since Michigan State. I don't fuck with that nigga. Fuck that dude. I ain't like that nigga since Michigan State, bro. You the reason for why the Warriors lost that 3-1 lead. Because you couldn't handle your fucking self. Because you couldn't control your fucking self. We can blame the NBA for suspending you, but you the dumbass that kept getting yourself in that position to get suspended. Still to this day, you still do the same shit. You want to sit there and flat out say some stupid shit like he's the best player in New Orleans history. No, he's not. There is at least 5 fucking people I have in front of Anthony Davis. In New Orleans basketball history, we talk about the Hornets and the Pelicans. 5, easily. Chris Paul, David West, Baron Davis. What? Who else? Shit. Drew Holiday. Yep, I got Drew Holiday in front of Anthony Davis. Drew Holiday. And then there's a toss between Peja Stojakovic or Tyson Chandler. Chris Paul, David West, Baron Davis. I just gotta take Drew Holiday off. Jamal Mashburn. Jamal Mashburn was that shit. Don't get it twisted, motherfucker. Now you can tell me Anthony Davis, talent wise, was better than them. But who gives a fuck about talent when the bitch ain't barely on the court? When the motherfucker barely's on the court, who gives a fuck about talent? And fifth would be probably Peja Stojakovic. I love Peja Stojakovic when he was with the Kings. And then when he came to New Orleans, boy, that run that they had back in the day with Peja and them, Paul and Peja Stojakovic, boy, that was a scary ass matchup. Yeah. NBA playoffs. So the West seems pretty much locked up. I mean, the West seems pretty much obvious who goes where. Um, Outside of maybe 1, 2, which is the Thunder and Spurs, obviously. 3, 4, 5, 6 are still competing for who's going to be where. The Lakers, I think the Nuggets are 3 right now. Nuggets are 3. And then I think Lakers are 4. What's that? The Rockets are 5 and the Timberwolves are 6. So these are teams that are still playing and trying to get into positioning. For the play in, I think it's the Suns, the Trailblazers, the Trailblazers, the Warriors. Suns, Trailblazers, Warriors. Suns, Trailblazers, Warriors. I forgot the other fucking team. Forgot the other team. But the Suns, Trailblazers, and Warriors are already locked into the play-in. Um, the Lakers are basically fucked. Luka Doncic has flew to Europe to see if he can get some tests run on his leg, get some treatment on his hamstring, so he can be ready for the playoffs. Newsflash, he won't be. If he does play, it's going to be game 3 or 4, maybe 4 or 5. And by that time, you look up, the Lakers are basically probably out the fucking playoffs. I mean, they're basically going to be fighting for their fucking playoff lives. Oh, I know. LeBron James is going to get it done. You're asking a man that had to take a step, a seat backwards to basically try to get the team back where they need to be. Now he's got to score 30 fucking points, also be the assist guy, also be the rebounder, also be probably your best defensive player on the wing. And now you want him to turn around and just save your team at 41 years old. Good fucking luck. The Lakers are fucking done. Just stick a fuck in them. They're fucking done. Austin Reeves also is hurt. He's out positive basically for the rest of the playoffs. Getting hurt literally a week or 2 before the fucking playoffs and massive injuries, real injuries that could keep you out for 2 to 3 weeks. And again, last year, hamstring situations turned into torn ACL, popped Achilles shit. So you don't want to do that. You're not trying to watch Luka back, especially not for some fucking playoffs that you know damn well you're not winning. So you rushing Luka back would be stupid at this point. I don't give a shit what treatment he gets. It's stupid to bring him back. Bro, you're done. Just go sit down and we can move on. Because people forget that's how Tyrese Halliburton popped his fucking Achilles. And that's how Jason Tatum popped his fucking Achilles. Because of hamstrings. Dame Lillard. They set him down for 2 weeks, came back, played 1 game, and popped his fucking Achilles. So if I'm the Lakers, I'm telling Luka, hey man, listen, season's done. Season's done. What are we rushing you back for? We don't have the team to get to the NBA Finals. We're not going to be as competitive when we start playing against the Thunder or the Spurs. What the fuck are we rushing you back for? So we can get bounced in a second round and not the first? Stupid. And plus, Luka is your future. Fuck what you talking about. Luka is the future. So what are we rushing you back for? To get you re-hurt? Get you hurt next year? For next year? And you can't rush back? We're not doing all that. Sit down. We'll figure it out. Once I heard a grade 2 hamstring, I'm like, that's fucking problematic. That literally leads to your fucking Achilles popping because we saw it all last year. Dame, Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, all of them had grade 2, grade 3 hamstring injuries. Try to get in the game and play. and popped the fucking Achilles. Now Tatum is back and he looks good, but Tatum didn't come back until what, a month ago? Tyrese Halliburton is still sitting out because he played in the NBA Finals and he popped his Achilles. Dame ain't play all fucking year. Now Dame is older, but that tells you a lot. Don't play with Achilles. Don't. Don't play with your hamstring. Sit your ass down. Take the recommended 8 weeks off and stop trying to rush it because your team is not going anywhere. What the interesting part gets is the Eastern Conference. Eastern Conference is not like the West. The West is very obvious. It's very simple. We know who's in. We know who's out. The West is way more simple. The East, on the other hand, is not. Outside of Miami being playoff bound, Detroit, Boston, Cleveland, and the Knicks, then Cleveland, are basically locked in on the first 4 seeds. Those are the first 4 seeds of the East. But after that, open fucking season. Atlanta, Toronto, Orlando, Charlotte. Who else was? Somebody else. I want to say the Bulls. I think it was the Bulls. I want to say the Bulls. I think it was the Bulls. Maybe it's the Bulls. I don't know. I gotta look at it again. Um, but from 5 to 9. So the 5th seed in the East to the 9th seed in the East all have a chance for positioning. You could go from in the next 2 days, from this is Thursday, recording this. From Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you can go from being a play-in team to hitting a plane and saying, Saturday night, we have to be in Boston. No. Who's the first seed? Cleveland. You get up with the 5th seed. We'll be in Cleveland for the 5th seed. Imagine Charlotte ending up with the 5th seed going against Cleveland. That's a series. Despite what people want to tell you, that's a series. That's an interesting fucking series too. That's a series. Charlotte got a lot of fucking heart. That's a series. Imagine Toronto falling into the 5th seed, and they gotta go play Charlotte. I mean, they gotta go play, Cleveland. That's a series. Toronto versus Cleveland. The history too. I mean, I know LeBron ain't on that team no more, and Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan, but that's still history. Got the Hawks. Told y'all the Hawks are gonna be something this season. I thought Trae Young would be there, but hey man, the Hawks are having a great fucking season. Told y'all the Hawks are gonna be something this season. Told you. I told y'all. Watch the Hawks. Hawks gonna be something this season. Told you. Told y'all. Should listen to me. Sunday's gonna be an interesting fucking night because if that's still as tight as it is, like I saw today, if it's still as tight as it is, whoo shit, Sunday gonna be interesting. Last year, what it was like the Warriors. The Warriors were planning to get into like the play in or the playoffs, where they didn't have to play in a play in, and with the Clippers. Like that was an interesting one. That was crazy. That was crazy. Lakers too. I think the Lakers also like right dwindling 6th seed, trying not to fall into the play in. Like yeah. But the NBA playoffs is officially around the corner. Like this weekend is the end of the season. Tuesday is the play-in. First play-in game, I think it's gonna be on Amazon Prime. So yeah, football. Jalen Hurts. You know, when people talk about Jalen Hurts, it kind of it irks me a little bit, pisses me off a little bit. I'll tell you why it pisses me off. Because he's everything you want. Yeah, he's not mechanically off, despite what people want to say. He's not mechanically off. I think that people think he's got like some weird throwing motion or some shit. Like he doesn't have a weird throwing motion. Um, he isn't super accurate, but when you need him to be, he is. For somebody that comes from the South to go to frigid ass Philadelphia and play like he plays is amazing. Is come from Texas, hot ass humid Texas, to go to Philadelphia and be anywhere near a 70% quarterback completion ratio, completions and shit is amazing. That shit's insane. Anyway, Jalen Hurts, above everything that I just said, is a winner. You see, I do this all the time, especially when it comes to quarterbacks. Talent over winning. You see, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are way more talented than Jalen Hurts. I can easily tell you that. That's not that hard to fucking see. There's a lot of quarterbacks that are way more fucking talented than Jalen Hurts, but they're not winners. They're not winners. You see, Jalen Hurts is a winner, and he's proven it. He's proven it in college. He proved that in high school. He's proven it in the NFL. So when does the conversation of talent and this iconic arm strength and this precision passing shit die? Because he's not that. And I'm not looking for him to be that. I didn't draft, if I was Philly, I didn't draft Jalen Hurts to be Drew Brees. I didn't draft Jalen Hurts to be Aaron Rodgers. I didn't draft Jalen Hurts to be any of these quarterbacks. I drafted Jalen Hurts because he's a consistent fucking winner. He did it in high school. He won a state championship in high school with his dad as a coach, which if this was anybody else and your dad was a head coach and you're the quarterback, this would not be a fucking conversation. I'm pretty sure his dad as a head coach, but yet he's uncoachable. I'm sorry, what the fuck you just say? His daddy was the head coach of his high school football team. But the conversation that people want to run with is that he's uncoachable, that he's uncoachable, that he changes the plays, that he. The fuck are you talking about? What? That what? He went from his father coaching him to Nick Saban coaching him. We're just gonna pretend like that didn't happen. We're gonna pretend like that didn't happen. You see, to be uncoachable, that's got to be a pantheon of shit. There's got to be a long line of coaches coming out flat out saying, "Yeah, I mean this motherfucker. I mean, goddamn, I can get to him. He just do whatever the fuck you want to do. It works. It wins us games. But that shit is a bad thing. It's not a bad. It's a bad thing. It's not good. It's not gonna win you the big game. So you went from your father, who probably treated you just like everybody else, or maybe even worse, because you are the father, you are the son of the father of the team. You're the son of the head coach. You probably getting it worse because now you're going home with him and he's telling you what the fuck you need to work on, what the fuck you need to do. He giving you game tape every day. Hey man, I saw this and I saw you and I need you to do this a little bit better. Get you hear Jalen Hurts talking, you can tell the fucking humbleness in this man's voice that comes from his father, bro. So you went from having your daddy coach you, tell you what to do, basically be a boot camp leader throughout your whole life. Coach you probably through fucking since you picked up a football. Then you get to high school and he is your coach, head coach. And then you get recruited by Nick Saban, who, let's be 100, he ain't no players coach. That man ain't giving you no pats on the backs. That man took his ass out of a championship game and put Tua in because he felt like he wasn't doing what he needed him to do. So you went from having your dad as a head coach to Nick Saban as a head coach. Had to deal with the whole Tua situation. Finally decided to go into the portal. And then you have Lincoln Riley as a head coach in college. It almost, I was about to say almost won a Heisman. Nobody's beating Joe Burrow that year for that Heisman. But you were nominated. He was a candidate for the Heisman. So let me get this straight. Jalen Hurts is uncoachable. I just laid down his first three coaches of his life. His pops, obviously. His father, pop, obviously. His father. Nick Saban, Lincoln Riley. He gets to the NFL. He gets drafted by Doug Peterson. They fire him because he says, hey, man, Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback at this time than Carson Wentz. And if you don't believe that, I don't know what the fuck you doing because clearly you're not listening to my instructions. I'm telling you, I'm seeing these two in practice. Jalen Hurts is ready. They fire him because they just want Carson Wentz to be the guy. And Carson Wentz never recovers fully from what happened to him that year. And then on top of that, you lose the love of Philly, basically, to Nick Foles because he took them to the Super Bowl and won that ring, and not you. And every year you tried to play up to that, and then it just backfired. So you fire the man that actually drafted him and Doug Peterson. Bring in Nick Sirianni. Give him a new offense. And even with that new offense, with Carson Wentz being in and out of the season because he was always injured, he finally takes the job a year later, fully takes the job in a new offense that now he has to run. He gets Philly to the playoffs. Huh? What'd you say? Yeah, his full year of starting, he gets them to the playoffs. Hmm? I'm sorry, I'm confused. What? The second year, as a as a starter, he gets Philly to the playoffs. Hmm. Hmm. He didn't just get them to the playoffs, Brandon. He got them to the Super Bowl. He didn't just get them to the Super Bowl, Brandon. He almost won the bitch. And if it wasn't for the last, what, 2, 3 games, he would have been the MVP. I don't know how the fuck you sat there and said, well, Patrick Mahomes should win the MVP, even though Jalen Hurts had a way better fucking stat line and record than he did. But hey, who am I? It was a full-time starter. Takes to the playoffs, loses in a wild card to Tampa, comes back the following year and gets them to the Super Bowl. Full-time starter, first year, gets them to the playoffs, loses to the defending champions, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The next year, he gets them to the Super Bowl. Next year, gets them to the Super Bowl. The next year, despite all of the ups and downs of that year, triple A, the ups and downs of that season, turmoil, all the shit. Defense sucks, falls off a cliff. They start 11-0, proceed to lose the next 6 games, and people blamed him for that. Still won the division, well, lost the division, lost to Tampa. The next year, he gets it back to the Super Bowl. This time, he wins it. Last year, he wins the division, but doesn't get to the Super Bowl, losing the first round. What I'm trying to say is the reports that came out about Jalen Hurts, the story, the hit job, the disrespectful ass trying to discredit this man hit job that Jalen Hurts had this past last week from ESPN of all fucking people, trying to discredit this man. That is why I started off by saying his head coaches. This man has had a different offense that he had to play in the last couple of years. And yet Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is the problem in Philly, according to y'all. ESPN and all these various different people. You see what I've said about Jalen Hurts? I'm going to continue to say. He ain't the most talented. He ain't Caleb Williams. He ain't Jaden Daniels. He's not Patrick Mahomes. Not Josh Allen. He's not Justin Herbert, arm-wise. He's not. He's not. Not Joe Burrow with the accuracy. He's not. But what you can never take away from Jalen Hurts is he's a fucking winner. My biggest problem with people is they always want to run out with this narrative. Well, he got a team around him. He got a team around him. Oh, I'm amazed that you dumbasses wasn't alive or around when Tom Brady first started winning championships because Tom Brady had no offense. But that defense was top tier. I know, blasphemy. No, it's accuracy. It's accurate. Tom Brady, for the first 3 championships, was led by a defense. I can't believe that. I can't believe you would say that. How dare you? It's fucking facts. Tom Brady was a game manager. It's fucking facts. Tom Brady was a fucking game manager. The first 3 years, the first 3 championships he won, he was a fucking game manager. Yeah, he went on and became one of the greats. But if you ask somebody, Tom Brady was a fucking game manager. For the first 3 championships, he was a fucking game manager. What I'm trying to say is we don't know what Jalen Hurts is going to be when it's all said and done. I feel like I said this shit literally last year. When I had to hear everybody try to tell me Justin Herbert is more talented or more. Justin Herbert's a top 5 quarterback over Jalen Hurts or a top 10 quarterback over Jalen Hurts. And I'm sitting there like, bitch, are you stupid? He has a team built around him. It's his fault that he got drafted to Philadelphia. It's his fault that they drafted the offensive lineman that they have drafted. It's his fault that the Giants general manager is a fucking idiot and he let Saquon Barkley just fucking walk. It's his fault that Tennessee just wanted to deplete Mike Vrabel of all weapons, and so they traded A.J. Brown to fucking Philly the same night that they drafted the fucking Heisman Award winner Devontae Smith. It's his fault. All that's his fault. Well, he got a team around him. How about motherfuckers start drafting what the fuck they actually need and not what the fuck they keep telling ESPN keep telling them to draft? Jalen Carter should have never failed a fucking team. But he did. And the Eagles is like, I'll take him. Jahad Campbell should have never failed to fucking 30 last year. But he did. Quayon Mitchell should have never failed to 27. And Cooper DeJean should have never failed to fucking 40. Or 39. But he did. Stop telling people this shit. Well, it's because he's a product of a team. Y'all don't know what a player is and what a team structure is. And I'm starting to realize this. Because the way y'all talk, and I hear y'all talk, the moment Josh Allen lost, it's his team fault. No, it's his fault. It's his fault. He's the one that had the 4 fucking turnovers. It's his fault. One play doesn't make or break your fucking game. When you have 4 fucking turnovers, yeah, that kind of makes or breaks your fucking game. It's funny how y'all sit here and talk about talent, but all the talented motherfuckers that y'all want to run out here and scream about and give all the praise to, there's only one person, talent-wise, that has actually won multiple championships that is still in the NFL, and that is Patrick Mahomes. And Patrick Mahomes was taken 10th. I told my brother Juan this last night. Jalen Hurts has superseded people's expectations. Even though you saw him win in college with Nick Saban, with Lincoln Riley, he has won with different offensive coordinators. Even if the team has struggled around him, he still found a way to get him into the playoffs. And yet, what's the narrative? He ain't talented enough. He ain't this. He ain't that. I take the motherfucker that's a winner over the motherfucker that's talented any day. I know you're going to find a way to win. This motherfucker talented, but he'll throw 5 picks. I don't need that shit. Because you wanted him to create on the fly. That's why I've always said, I would never take a Caleb Williams over a Jane Daniels. Are you fucking kidding me? Controlled chaos is nice if it works. Like Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes is controlled chaos. Jalen Hurts is a consistent winner. And Philadelphia fans, any Philadelphia fans that are on the app where I'm going to clip this, if you sit out here and tell me Jalen Hurts is a bad quarterback, or you don't want him, or he ain't what y'all, you just sticking up for him and he ain't even all that, okay. This is what I need you to do. I need you to trade him. I'm sick of that shit. Trade him. He ain't all that. He ain't all that, man. We can get a better quarterback. Oh, really? Okay. Trade him. Trade him. I promise you right the fuck now, you'll get a number 1 pick right now. You tell the Raiders, hey man, we'll trade Jalen Hurts for the first pick. Fucking Raiders will pack up that fucking first pick and say, here, you can have it. But that offensive line that he got now in Las Vegas with Aston Genty and Brock Bowers, hey, we gonna trade Jalen Hurts to the Raiders. Deal. Fuck you mean? Deal. A proven Super Bowl MVP for a probably really okay, good quarterback in Fernando Mendoza. Might be better than what people expect. I think Fernando Mendoza is better than what people expect. But I'm still like, so you telling me I can get Jalen Hurts? You fucking right, I'm taking that deal. Fucking kidding me? Call the Jets up. See if the Jets will trade you the 2 pick for Jalen Hurts. Watch how fast they say, yes. Yeah, let's do that. We can do that. We can do that right here, right the fuck now. Call the Cardinals up. See if they want to trade you the 3 pick. Hey, 3rd pick for the Jets? What the fuck we signed? What? Hey, call NFL office and tell these motherfuckers like they want to make this deal. You're fucking stupid. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. Call the Browns and see how fast the fucking Browns trade you the 5th pick. Trade you the 5th pick and probably all the fucking quarterbacks in there. All the fucking quarterbacks in the damn quarterback room. You want all of them? All of them? Deshaun too? You'll take his contract? Shit. Shador, Dylan, all of them? Goodbye. Goodbye. Fucking Uncle Phil the shit out there. Fucking goodbye. I'm sick of this shit. And it's stupid motherfuckers that want to sit here and tell you that they know football. Oh, because of the talent of this quarterback, I take this quarterback over Jalen Hurts. You sound fucking stupid. Jalen Hurts is a proven winner. This man's been in the playoffs all of his fucking career. Every year. Even when the team has sucked and gave up on him, he's been in the playoffs. Trade him. Trade him. Watch how fast your fucking say Jalen Hurts is on the fucking trading block right now. Watch how fast your fucking team get blown the fuck up. Watch how fast that phone get blown up. Jalen Hurts on the trade block? Like for real, for real? You have the Rams call you. You have the fucking 49ers call you. You have teams that you didn't even think would call you. Like Detroit. What the fuck is Detroit calling us for? We like Jared Goff, but he ain't Jalen Hurts. Trade him. Trade him. Because I've said this numerous times, what Jalen Hurts has ain't got shit to do with talent. Jalen Hurts is a flat out fucking leader. And that shit is hard to come by. What Jalen Hurts is a leader. He is self fucking confident. His humbleness is fucking something you need. And if you do not understand that as a fucking football fan, I hope your team lose. I just do. Because that's stupid. Talent don't always get you championships, bro. Y'all told me Josh Allen is the most talented quarterback in that playoffs last year. His ass is watching that Super Bowl with us. I guess his ass wasn't that talented. Maybe he needs to learn how to be a winner. Like John Hurts. What should they do? Been doing the series for the last couple of weeks. It is landing on number 7, which is the Washington Commanders. Washington. Ooh, shit. After a year where you made it to the NFC Championship game against the Eagles, last year was a complete and utter collapse. I mean, my God. Jaden Daniels got hurt, banged up, and after he got hurt, banged up, it was no salvaging the season. It was over. Yeah. This is the thing. This is the 3rd year. And because of the Commanders' ownership that they have now, I don't see them being so eager to get rid of Dan Quinn. But I will say this: if that offense does not improve like it did the Jane Daniels rookie year, if it does not show something as good, and then that defense of Washington wasn't special either, so you just literally let Marshawn Lattimore, who you basically traded a bunch of shit for to get him to come there. I don't know how you fix that in the senses of how I don't know how you fix that because I don't know how you tell people that yeah, that deal happened and it just didn't work out for us. How do you make that make sense? That you traded a bunch of shit away to get this guy, and now 2 years later, you happily released him. That's not good, man. Could the Commanders have been, you know, victims of their own hype? Could have. I mean, we've seen teams come out and have, especially when they have that type of year that catches everybody off guard. They come out and have a really up and down fucking season. And you're just like, what the fuck? Like Detroit last year. Even though Detroit had been a great, consistent team, Detroit just had a fucking season where you're just like, what the fuck are you doing? And that's kind of what happened to the Commanders. Like I said, I don't think Dan Quinn is getting fired next year. I mean, listen, anything can happen. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like Dan Quinn can't get fired because anything can happen. Anything can fucking happen. But what I do believe is Dan Quinn, 9 out of 10, is probably not gonna get fired if the team performs like it's supposed to. Which brings me to Jaden Daniels. I knew Jaden Daniels was the best pick, one of the best picks in that draft a couple years ago. I had Jay Daniels as my quarterback 2 behind Michael Penix. But Jay Daniels is, man, Jay Daniels is, when he's healthy, he's one of the most dangerous fucking quarterbacks in the NFL. The man can run, the man can pass, he's accurate as shit. When he has an offensive line, and I've seen him with no offensive line, I've seen him with no running game in LSU. And now I know it's completely different. College is completely different than the NFL. I know that. But let's not pretend like that didn't happen. He, at one year, I literally said this. The reason why Brian Kelly kept his job after Jay Daniels' second year when he finally left and went to the pros, I said because Jay Daniels actually was the running game and he was the quarterback. Motherfucker was the passer and the runner. And people couldn't understand how bad Brian Kelly's offense truly was until until Jay Daniels left. Because you're like, yo, this offense is putting up 500 yards every fucking game. What the fuck? How did they end up like this? Because Brian Kelly offensively didn't know shit. Jay Daniels kept them afloat. And now we're in this situation at this moment with the Washington Commanders. And this is Jay Daniels' third year. First year, phenomenal. Shocks the world to some of y'all. He shocks the world. His second year, he's injured. He's barely there. The third year is the make or break year for Jay Daniels. Not to be like, oh man, I don't know if he's getting a contract extension, but to prove what I already know, which is he's one of the best in the league. But there's too many people that's now doubting him and thinking he can't be what he did his rookie year, or his rookie year was some one-off, or oh they didn't have tape on him, so now people got tape on him, so they're gonna beat his ass. Like, no, what Jay Daniels did his rookie year was a harbinger of things to come. But Washington has to actually build the proper situation for him. Which brings me to this draft. And for as long as I've been saying things, since literally the draft order was bestowed upon us after the season, I have literally said, and I have not changed my fucking mind, and I took him when we did the mock draft show, me and my brother Juan. I took him at 7, and I'm taking him here. The Commanders need a running game. They need a fucking actual running game. You traded Brian Robinson in the season, and you never replaced him. I know they got a rookie there, but let's be real. Like, do you expect him to be the starter for the next 2 to 3 years? If not, he's a great 1-2 punch, but he's the 2. He's not the 1, and that is why, if I am the Commanders and he falls to fucking 7, without hesitation, give me Jeremiah Love from fucking Notre Dame. There is not a question in my mind that dude would fit. What you need, you got your franchise quarterback. You still got your franchise receiver in Scary Terry. You don't have your running back. And for Dan Quinn, if you saw last year for the Commanders, they couldn't get off the fucking field defensively because that offense could not stay on the field. So after a while, that defense got fucking worn down. And the one thing about the year prior, when they got to the championship game, was they was running the fucking football. With Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson and Jay Daniels, it didn't matter. They ran the ball. They need that guy again. They need their number 1. They need their true, this is the fucking guy. Jeremiah Love with Jay Daniels and Scary Terry offensively will be one of the scariest fucking trios I've seen in a very long fucking time. I would not be happy to see that shit at all. I'd be like, nope, I don't want to see that shit. I'm good. Nope, I'm good. I'll pass on this game this week. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do this. Who set us up like this? Who did this? I would pick Jeremiah Love at 7. If he falls to 7, you take him. You don't hesitate. You don't think about it. You take him at 7. The fuck are you? What? Why are we playing? Take him at 7. Be happy. Because now if a healthy Jane Daniels is healthy, offensive line is somewhat solid. Like I just said, Jane Daniels, when he's healthy, is motherfucking dual threat quarterback, and you have to very, very be cautious of that. And now you add a Jeremiah Love, who is one of the best running backs in this fucking draft class, is the best running back in this draft class, who should have won the Heisman. You put him with Jane Daniels? Good fucking night. Good fucking night, man. Lord have mercy. Jesus Christ. But that is it. That's I Believe Sports. Next week, I'll be back. More basketball. Playoffs will be here finally. Talk some more boxing. WNBA. The draft is coming up. Talk about them. Didn't get to them today, but talk about Angel Reese getting traded. Talk about that next week. And my Saints. My New Orleans Saints. What should they do? That's who's next. Who that? But until next time, I'm Brandon Janeau. This is I Believe Sports. Peace.